The channel framework is a new experimental technology in version 11. I'll start with a quick demo of the framework, then tell you a little bit when you want to use the framework and when you would better be served by other existing technologies. Then I'll briefly touch on a few advantages of the PubSub or publish-subscribe messaging, which is used by the framework, then quickly show how to customize the framework to suit your needs, and finish off with a quick rundown of some fun applications. So, what does the channel framework do? First of all, it allows any device that is capable of making an HTTP request to talk to your current Wolfram language session, no matter where the device or your current computer is located. The basic building block is a channel listener. I'll now start listening on a channel named channel. And I also set up a display for incoming messages. When a new message arrives, this dynamic will update. Now let's send a message to our listener. The simplest, of course, is to do it directly from the language. In this case, I send a message from the same session, but I can do exactly the same on any other computer, my laptop, Wolfram Cloud, whatever. Now let's do something more interesting. This is a URL of my listener with some additional message appended. I'll go to a web browser and make a web request. As you see, the listener receives the request and updates the display. You get the idea, but to drive the point home, let me also cook up a curl command and send a message from a terminal session. Again, the terminal session can be anywhere on the internet, and my listener receives the message. And back to my Wolfram language session, I can see all messages that arrived so far, constructed data set, plot messages, created time series, whatever. The messages are already in my Wolfram language session, so I can do whatever I want with them. Now, you don't always need this new technology. If you just want to do some math or just store your messages, you can do that through the channel framework too, but there are simpler ways to do that. But when you really need a channel framework is when you want to send your data to your current Wolfram language session, or when you want to process your data asynchronously in your current session. That's where the framework becomes indispensable. Or when you want to do the job in some other specific Wolfram language session, maybe on some another machine, or a number of machines, and that's when you can use the framework too. With PubSub, or publish-subscribe, there is another server somewhere out there. In this case, it's channelbroker.wolframcloud.com, and by sending messages through that server, you can't care less which machine speaks which language, or which drivers are needed to talk to which device, or how many machines are listening to your message, or how many other machines are talking on your channel. All these complexities are abstracted away for you. You just talk to a channel that is a URL and listen on a channel, and there is nothing more to it. Now, in my first example, the listener did nothing but accumulate data. That was the default listener handler. But you can also define your own handlers for messages. Here I create a channel that prints incoming messages to the messages window. And because the handler is already defined on a channel, I don't need to repeat it when starting a listener. When this listener started, it queried the server, got the handler, and now knows what to do with messages it receives. I'm sending hello to the channel, and it's printed here. And we also made it super easy for you to override the default handler, which you can do simply by giving a second argument to channel listen. Instead of printing a message, this listener speaks it.
Hello again.
Here we go. As you can imagine, this simple system gives you a tremendous flexibility in great many applications, too numerous to be covered here in any detail. But if there will be only one point you carry from this talk, it should be this. If a system can make an HTTP request, it can also communicate with your Wolfram language session. Now, I will just rush through some of the examples that we worked out for you and give you a link to the code in the end. You can send data remotely from one Wolfram language session and plot the data dynamically in another session. Or send the data from an Arduino Yun and use your Wolfram language session as a dashboard. Or remotely evaluate your code on another machine or a number of machines that give you access. Or set up your own chat system, or create your own Wolfram instant messaging, we call it Vim client. Or make your Wolfram language session speak your incoming emails. Or hook up to Amazon Lambda. Or an IFTTT channel. And much more. And here are the links I promised. Examples with the code. And a function overview. Hope you enjoyed the new channel framework. Thank you.